content. You know, we see on the news and TV so much negative stuff or so much stuff that doesn't reflect us. So I wanted to have a show with content that we can all relate to. My name is LaWanda DeShazer, and you are rocking with culture. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Think About It. I'm LaWanda DeShazer, and today my guest is Ms. Tamara Huff. She's from USD 259, and we all know school is right around the corner, and we got some stuff to talk about. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, and we're going to just jump right into it with Tamara. So, Tamara, school is getting ready to start.
Yes, we have just a few short days and school will be in session.
Oh my goodness, and this is an unprecedented school year.
Absolutely.
With COVID-19, it's changed everything. And so, as our kids get ready to go to school, it's going to look different.
It is going to look different.
So why don't you tell us what that difference is going to actually look like?
So in the past, our students were used to going into a classroom and learning with their fellow students and teachers and having that face-to-face contact. And so this year it's going to look a little bit different because not all of our students will have that same face-to-face contact.
Okay, so if we're not in the classroom with face-to-face, what's the alternative?
The alternative is remote learning, and so that gives the students the opportunity to focus on their learning at home via computer, and teacher instruction will be a little bit different because they will not be in the same room with their teacher.
Okay. Now, isn't there two different tracks you can go on the home school?
Yes, so we have the My Learning Remote, and that is where they are actually in class with their teachers via the internet. The other option would be if they are signed up for the program that allows them to do their program at various times throughout the day, and so it's a little bit more self-paced.
Okay, so have you gotten any feedback? I mean, are parents like nervous? Are they?
I think that parents are nervous, not just because of the change in the format, but then also nervous because they want their kids to be safe.
Okay, so we know safety is a feature, but we also know that, like, I need to have a book in front of me. I need a teacher right there. I need feedback. I need a person to help me to learn. And I know there are a lot of kids that feel the exact same way. So how are we going to remove some of that anxiety?
So the teachers will still have the opportunity to work with students where they are. There are several features with the online version that will allow teachers to still have that connection. And then we're encouraging families to stay involved with their students' education because we need the support from the house more now than ever because this is a completely different time for all of us. And so if we make sure that our students have that support system both at home and then the student support system that our teachers are able to provide, we're hoping that this year can be a phenomenal year as well.
Okay. Will there be any opportunities, say I'm doing the online with the teacher, will there be any opportunities to maybe actually physically meet by appointment or anything with the actual teacher?
So there are appointments available. You can set those appointments up. They will be, of course, over an electronic device, but you can have that one-on-one time. Conferences will still happen. They will just be online as well.
Okay. All right. So no face-to-face. At least for the first 9 weeks.
At least the first 9 weeks.
Okay. So if it's the first 9 weeks, at what point in that first 9 weeks will we know if it's going to carry over to the second 9 weeks?
So the school district will continue to work with the Centers for Disease Control and the Kansas Health Department to assess the situations that are going on here in town. And as soon as information is available, our superintendent, our communications department will make sure to communicate that out to the community as well.
Okay. All right, so I'm a parent and my child is going to be at home. What do I do as a parent to get ready for my home to now be school?
Sure. It doesn't have to be anything extensive or expensive. Just making sure that your student has a quiet place to study where they can be free from distraction. Making sure that televisions are off when they are supposed to be in school. Making sure that siblings, brothers and sisters, give them the opportunity to get their studying done without interruption. It can be at a kitchen table. If there is a desk that you can create and say this is the school space, so that they know that school is not maybe the same place where they play their video games, but make it a separate space so that they know it's school time. The other thing that I would suggest for all parents is just making sure that they are consistently checking in with their student, making sure that they feel comfortable. If there's any apprehension, if the student is feeling, talk through those things with the student. And then the other part of it, being a parent, is making sure that you're taking care of yourself, because it's a really difficult transition to go from being a parent that is sending your student to school and a parent that has that student right there at home. And so taking care of themselves, making sure that if they need support, that they reach out and let us know as a district what can we do to make sure that you and your student are successful.
Okay. So when my children were still in school, and at one point they were like, "Mom," this is my son, "I want to be homeschooled." I'm like, "No." No. And so I know parents have to have some anxiety right now,
Right.
but it sounds like you guys are kind of talked through it, and so they'll have parents will have resources as
Absolutely.
well.
And so right now we have parent universities that are online. They can be found on the USD 259 website, and it gives instruction regarding the technical aspect of homeschooling and then additional tips that can help support the parents as they move into this I am now parent and co-teacher.
I am just so I'm in advance. I am so proud of parents in advance because I know they're going to kill this process. So I'm just glad that it's them and not me.
Sure, sure. And I think it's a great time for the partnerships to be formed. A lot of the times parents have felt like, an outsider in education. This is a time now that we get to make that partnership really count and show that, what, we can do this, we can work with the school districts, and our students can and will be successful.
And so if a parent has more than one child at home, again, they need to have their own separate space
Absolutely.
and make them feel like they're comfortable and
Yes.
safe and to accentuate that we're in school right now.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
It may be fun to stick your computers on next to each other, but that's not the best thing.
No. Because we want to make sure that our students are focused and paying attention to the learning that's going on. We already know that it's going to be a very different learning environment, and so anything that we can do to reduce the opportunity for them to get distracted will be very beneficial for the student.
Okay, so if they're going to be learning at home, internet, computers, what about the families that don't already have computers?
So the district is employing or deploying rather the capability, the technology that has the internet capability already included. And so if there is not internet access, then there will be options to make sure that those students that are not connected can be connected.
Okay, and what about the laptops or tablets or whatever? Is the school supply any of those?
Yes, so every student will be able to receive a device to be able to complete that education online. And so the school district will be coming up with a deployment schedule. Students will then go to the school to pick up their device and be able to take it home and have that device there for that learning opportunity.
And obviously IT is going to be available.
There is going to be support. We have our help desk, and that number is 973-HELP. If parents or students need help with the technology, they can call that number and get the support that they need.
If you're at home and your computer like I can't get in, I don't remember my password, they need to call like immediately to get help. Correct?
Yes, yes.
We don't want the teachers to mark them back.
Absolutely, because the attendance piece of it is going to be critical during this new transition.
If we got that parent attendance, will be checked.
Yes.
So when I'm on meetings, I think it's rude to turn your camera off. What kind of rules are there going to be on this new learning?
So we want our students to be completely engaged, and so we would hope that they would be able to have their camera on, so that the teacher can still get that feel for, is the student getting it? That light bulb moment, we can see when our students feel comfortable with the learning, and so if that camera's not on, there's not really that visual reinforcement for the teachers to know that my students are getting it. So, we would hope that they would be able to keep their cameras on and be engaged in that learning process.
And obviously there's going to be some type of checks and balance going on to make sure the children are doing what they're supposed to do and are engaged.
Absolutely. So there will be, like I said, the attendance taken, but then they will also have graded assessments and assignments. And so we want to make sure that our students have the best possible situation to get those assessments and assignments done.
And what is the site that you can go to check grades?
That is our parent view, and the information for parent view can also be found on our district website, which is usd259.org. And at any time they need help with the parent view apps, then the school personnel are available in the office. They can make that phone call and find out what exactly do I need to do to get into parent view.
So there are no excuses, parents. Although the kids are going to be at home, you can still check grades. You can still follow up and see how they're going. You can interact with the teachers.
Yes. And so the email addresses, teachers' email addresses will be provided for all of the students, as well as they will still be able to call and get the teacher messages at school or contact them directly through the school.
So I know that in some of the grades, the students have the option of going to school physical in the building. So since there are some teachers that are physically in the building, again, is there any opportunity for face-to-face?
Sure. And so that piece of it has been a little bit difficult to navigate. We want to make sure that our schools are safe, and so we're trying to limit the number of people that are actually inside of the physical building.
This is a project in motion. Many projects, actually. Some are moving in bold new directions. Others are transforming history and tradition into all the vibrant possibilities embedded in the here and now. This is downtown Wichita, creative to its core with a commerce and culture that's never at rest. There's an energy in Wichita that is renewing our cityscape, driven by a master plan of development and nearly $1 billion of investment in the last decade. Structures and spaces are being transformed where talent can live, work, connect, and discover. By many measures, progress is evolving. In the past decade, residential units have doubled along with the number of downtown residents. More than 100 retailers are open for business, and each year, more than 500,000 attendees flock to downtown for conventions and events. There's a thriving cultural scene for nationally known performing arts to more than 50 museums and galleries. Local art has become a staple of downtown life, as Wichitans come out to appreciate artists during the monthly free art crawl. A filled-to-the-brim events calendar and an arena that entertains more than 300,000 patrons each year attracts a multi-state audience to the largest city in Kansas. Everywhere you look, contemporary living space is being thoughtfully integrated with a wide-open range of professional and retail commerce. And the spaces in between? A lot of thought is pouring into those areas too. There are parks that pop up in the most unexpected places, and an alley that's now a gallery alive with music and art. There's an abundant evidence of public sector investments designed to enhance for innovative reclamations. A parking garage becomes portals upon portals of mixed-use interiors. A former newspaper building becomes a collaborative corporate home for Cargill Protein Group, the world's largest privately owned company. And a historic railway station now traffics in eateries and offices. A river runs through downtown Wichita, and its banks are rich with opportunities for development of walkable shopping, dining, and luxury lodging. Driven by the construction of a new ballpark and a AAA baseball team coming to town. More than 2,000 Wichitans call downtown home, surrounded by urban experiences and living in more than 30 properties as distinctive in style as the art amenities. Hospitality, too, is challenging the status quo. After arriving at our new Dwight D. Eisenhower National Airport, downtown visitors are welcomed at unique hotels that range from the historic to the boutique. Even iconic lodging brands find a truly unique expression, inspired by the creative characters of downtown Wichita. This is where you come to get projects done. Here in the core of Wichita, a community fully engaged in creating a distinctive, authentic urban core for this generation and beyond. Discover the opportunities today.
That I learn math, for example, is different than what my student might be doing. I don't have to relearn math. I just have to be willing to say, I don't understand it and I'm going to need some extra help, and trust that the district will provide the support that they need. The other piece of it is we have to be comfortable letting our children struggle a little bit. You know, this is going to be different than what they've seen before. And so we don't want parents to feel like I have to have all of the answers so that I can figure it out and help my child through this time. It's okay to let them struggle because the struggle is part of the learning process.
And it's okay to just send the teacher a message.
Absolutely.
Chat, email,
phone call, leave a message, whatever the case may be, and let them know, you know, hey, we're struggling with this. Or can you give me some practical tips that I can use at home to help my student through this? You know, one of the things that I've always thought is really interesting, and parents don't always think about it, but when their children are in the kitchen with them, if you've got a student that's trying to learn fractions, what better way to learn fractions than making a cake?
Right.
And so you can do things together to support learning. It doesn't always feel like it's a classroom. And so the application is there just from the everyday interaction that families can have with their students.
And I really do think this is going to be a really good time for parents and students to bond.
Absolutely.
Okay, my children are grown now, but when we all were at home for a little while, it was kind of fun.
It was.
Because, you know, we always moving. And now you get to like really participate
Absolutely.
in the child's learning process.
And that's so important.
So, you know, and another thing that some people talk about is that I have to work. I'm a working parent. I can't stay home with my child. And so, and I really don't want to send my child to a building. How have they been working that out?
So we have been working kind of behind the scenes to see what other options are out there, working with some of our congregations to see if that's something that is feasible for the students and the church buildings. And so there are some things in the works that we are hoping that we can have solidified by the time school starts on September the 8th. But again, you know, as we work through that whole patience piece of it is a huge part of it. So
I was hoping you would say that because surely there has to be some facilities that are large enough and we can still social distance. You can take your laptop, get into the Wi-Fi,
yes.
and do your work, and you're under adult supervision,
Absolutely.
but you're still able to do your own
Sure.
work. And so,
And there are some churches that have already signed up. They're on board for it. Some community centers that are looking at doing the same thing. And so as soon as we have a full list, we will make sure to get that out to the families as well.
that is going to be very important. That is such a needed piece of this whole new learning
Yes,
process.
yes.
Because, you know, everybody can't afford daycare. You can't afford to not go to work. And if we have some community partners,
Right.
see, there you go. That family
and community.
See, there you go. Right. So I think, again, that's going to be really helpful for a lot of parents. So it's a good thing. So you gave out some email addresses. So again, tell us, where can parents go to get help?
So if you need any information at all, just call our district. We also will have a homework hotline still set up for families that need additional support. And then if there's ever any question, you don't know where to go, just go to the district website, usd259.org, and you can find all of the information that you would ever want to know. Our website is very robust and full of lots of helpful information.
Okay, so here's the $1 million question. What about lunch?
Okay, so there will still be lunch options available. Just like this summer we had the pickups available.
Mm-hmm.
There will still be food service available, and that information is also included on the website at usd259.org.
you know, this past summer, I helped to deliver lunches to some of our students.
Yes,
And I just really saw firsthand that that's a big need.
it is.
It's very important. So I'm glad that we aren't going to just say, you're on your own. Because again,
Right.
our, I don't know what the percentage, but a lot of our students qualify for free lunch.
Absolutely.
And just because you're at home doesn't mean you don't
Absolutely.
need, you know.
And we know that, in these times, and especially with finances going the way that they are for families, those needs are even greater now than they were before.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want any of our students being food insecure, and so, just trust the district to know that we are here to support you, and if there's anything that families need, just reach out, and we'll figure out what we need to do.
Over the summer, one of the cool things that the school district did is that it was different places around the city where
Yes.
you could go and just drive through and
Yes.
get your lunch.
Yes.
So hopefully that's still on the table. Hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah. So we know we wasn't going to really talk about sports, but we know that's that's on the back burner and talking about it. But what other activities can we do with our kids? Because we always say we don't want you watching TV 8 hours a day,
Sure.
but now you're going to be on a computer about 6, 7,
Right,
8 hours
right,
a day. So we still have to get some.
Yes, so there will be break times incorporated into the daily learning, and during those breaks, we want our students to get up and to be moving around, get a break from that computer screen. And one of the things that I remember from my childhood, we didn't get to sit inside and watch television. We had to go outside, play in the backyard.
Right.
So this is a good opportunity to pull out some of those games that we grew up on that maybe our children didn't have the opportunity to do, and provide that extra physical activity. The other good piece of it is that even with our elementary students, all the way up to our high school students, there will be opportunities for special classes or elective classes where the students can participate in things like music and art and PE. So those options aren't completely off the table. Again, it's just going to look a little bit different.
So it's not going to be just math and science and English all
Right.
day.
So we will have our core classes, but again, we want our students to be well-rounded, and so those other opportunities exist still as well.
Yeah, I think if I were still a student, the music classes, those things are probably going to be missed.
Yeah. So they're going to be different, but they will still be there.
Okay, that is good.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So our kids, again, they're still going to be a well-rounded person.
Absolutely.
They don't just have to sit there like zombies.
No.
Over the summer, USC 259 had partnered with Southwestern College, and they had like 7th and 8th graders, and they got like a tutorial on how to do online learning, and they actually had like one of the classes was like PE.
Okay.
And so you got to move around,
Yes.
do your exercises, PE teacher led it, so I'm sure there's going to be
Yes.
something like that going on.
Those will all be opportunities that our students will have.
So when I was in school, I hated PE. And so, doing all this other stuff, but now if we just have to do some jumping jacks, and
Sure.
I would have got an A in gym. I would have got
Turn on
that
some
A.
music and,
Yeah.
get your blood flowing, get up and do some dancing. And the opportunity just exists to be fun, to have fun with your students, and to make it a time where families get to bond through a process that they've never gotten to do before.
And I think during the internet learning, sometimes there is a disconnect
Yes.
from what goes on at school to coming home and going to school. And I actually think it might be a really good experience. So parents can get a better idea of what's going on.
Yes.
And, we couldn't always go to PTAs and PTOs and all that. But now they get an opportunity to be more hands-on with their
Absolutely, and
children.
see exactly what's going on in the classroom.
Yeah.
Learn more about their child and maybe how the child learns, and then figure out what it is that they need to do as parents to support that learning.
Because one of the things that I always kind of had a problem with was like parent-teacher conference.
Sure.
You always say, well, parents never show up. Well, because we go to parent-teacher conference and all we get is bad news.
Sure.
But now, if I'm at home with my child, and say I can get a kind of a sense of what it takes for them to to learn and how to make that better.
Sure.
So now the teacher and I can have a better conversation.
Absolutely.
I found out that my child learns better in this type of environment.
Right.
Or we can do this. So I think it's going to really work out better, I think, for everybody.
I think it'll be great. And then the other piece of it is we do have a lot of attention that we put into social emotional learning. We don't want our kids to feel like we don't have any experience. So that time will be used to make sure that our teachers have the opportunity to students and where they go. They'll get to know the families and all that. And so even though this is a field, I think it has a great
A break, and we'll be right back to think about it. So we'll be right back with you. And we are just wanting to make sure that we get parents ready for this school year. We know it's going to look different, but it's going to still be a great year. So we talked about, laptops and internet and those things, and we talked about we want kids to have fun. So what about things like going to the library and checking out books? What would that look like?
So we don't have library access at this time, but we do have an opportunity to go back to the Wichita Public Library, looking at different ways that we can do downloading books on the internet, since they will have those devices. And then thinking about creative story time even for our elementary students, telling stories with your children, and that's a very key piece into making sure that that reading development is there. Just spending time telling stories to each other, and then taking that field trip to the Wichita Public Library.
So now is a good time to get your library
Get your library card.
Okay. So like I have a niece that's going into kindergarten.
Yes.
So what should parents be doing like right now to get kids ready, or just what should a kindergartner know?
Sure. And so on our website, we also have all of
them. That website is the bomb.
It's a very rich website. So if they go on, there are the standards that our students are assessed on. And so families can find out exactly what a kindergartner needs to know, what does a first grader need to know, and there's even tips on there to help the students at home. So if there's something that they're wondering, how do I teach my child this, then you can look on there and find some tips to make sure that you're giving that information correctly.
Okay, parents, you got a little bit of time. Go to that website. It has everything you need to know.
Everything you need.
And I really do think that what should a student know at what grade is very important.
Absolutely.
And again, parents is a way to help you get involved in your student's life.
Right. And I think that one of the other pieces that's always been beneficial to me, I know when I was in kindergarten, a lot of the times we thought of it as, that's graham crackers and milk and nap time and learning to play with others. But kindergarten now is a lot different than it looked when I was in school, or even when my children were in school. There is some true, very important learning that needs to take place even at the kindergarten level. So just be ready to dive in. It may look different, but it's so rewarding to see how much our children can do. And with those standards that are out there, knowing my child can learn algebra, they're learning, algebraic expressions even at the elementary level, but our kids can do it. Yes, and so set those expectations high, and then hold your child to those expectations.
One of the rules or I don't know, rule, but one of the things I've always heard is that your child needs to be able to read on a third grade level by third grade. That is so important.
Yes. So reading proficiency is one of those things, again, that can be impacted by our daily interactions with our students. It's okay for when you're driving down the street, if you're looking at a billboard, asking your kindergarten child, can you see what letters are on the board? Tell me what letters those are. What sounds do those make? And for your older students, having them read the billboard to you. If you're in the grocery store and looking at boxes of cereal, you know, have them look at the letters, tell you what those letters are, and then again, just that daily conversation with your student so that they can learn vocabulary from you. You don't have to have a whole lot of words, but just making sure that your student knows how to use them.
Okay. So I like that. Just everyday things. You don't
Everyday
have
things.
to spend money. You can just use things around the house,
Absolutely.
grocery store, just everyday things, and it helps to build up your child's foundation.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else that parents absolutely need to know about this upcoming virtual world that we are about to enter?
Patience, grace,
Grace
and
and
flexibility.
flexibility.
Yes. And just make sure that you consider us partners in education for students. We're here for you, whatever it is that you need. Please reach out to your teacher, to your building administrators, and just let us know whatever questions that you have. Our website also has a frequently asked questions page. And so if there are questions, I'm sure that other parents have had it as well. Look on that page, and if you don't see the question that you have, contact the district and we'll make sure that you get an answer.
So give us the website again.
It's usd259.org.
And what is the homework hotline phone number?
The homework hotline phone number, got it there on, yes,
973-4411.
yes, and information about the homework hotline is also on our website as well.
I'm telling you, that website, it's a
It's
lifesaver.
amazing.
Yes. So I want to thank you for coming out
Thank
today.
you for having
I
me.
really do think our parents need all the resources they can get. We need to cheer them on because I
Absolutely.
know our parents can do this. They say that, and it's not just black students that'll be doing this, it'll be all students.
All
So we want to
students.
make sure that whatever achievement gap existed, it doesn't spread further.
Yes.
We can do whatever we can to close that gap.
Close that gap,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes. So parents, you got this. I want to thank you again
Thank you
for
so
coming
much.
on. I am LaWanda DeShazer with Think About It, and thank you for tuning in one more time. Bye.